If you don't know where to start with your credit, this video is for you. Everyone has been a beginner at some point in their lives, especially in their credit journey. Nobody came out a pro at credit. I mean, come on now. When we were babies, we didn't think anything about credit. However, you need to know these 3 things in order to build your credit. First things first, you need to know what exactly is on your credit report. I would highly recommend using 2 free softwares: Credit Karma for your TransUnion and Equifax score, and Experian for your Experian score. Now, when it comes down to Credit Karma, your scores are not always accurate. So I know that you might see a lot of backlash on social media about using Credit Karma to provide you with accurate scores. However, the only way to truly know what your score is for that bank or that loan or whatever line of credit that you're applying for is to apply. But we'll talk about that later. So for one, using Credit Karma, you want to look for derogatory items. Those derogatory accounts are the ones that are collections, charge-offs, and anything that is really negatively impacting your credit score. Your credit score is comprised of 5 things, which I do have another video on those 5 things. However, collections are a big factor when it comes down to a lower credit score. So once you look over your credit score on derogatory items, you're going to also do the same thing for Experian. So because your credit scores are independently and mutually exclusive, each bureau may not show the same score. You might see a 700 on Experian, a 620 on TransUnion, and a 651 on Equifax. That is fine. They are 3 different business entities, and they report 3 different ways on their own terms and on their own time. Also, you may see 1 account or 2 accounts on one bureau and not on the others, or you might see an account on two of the bureaus and not all 3. That is totally fine too, because when you are disputing and removing negative items, you're going to focus on each bureau independently and not the accounts as a whole. So we'll get into disputing in another video, but I want to make sure that you know what you're looking for. Now, 2, you want to look in your inquiry section of each bureau. So for Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, you want to make sure that you see how many inquiries that you have on each bureau. Anytime you apply for a big line of credit or any type of big loan from a bank, whether it's a mortgage, a car loan, a credit card, a personal loan, what have you, most of the time they are hard pulling on your credit. A hard pull just means that they are actually pulling your score to see your credit worthiness and whether or not you are able to maintain responsibility when it comes down to your credit. So they're looking at if you have any late payments, they're looking at if you have any high credit debt ratio compared to the amount of credit limit that you have, which we'll go over in another video. And then they're also looking for how are your balances. Out of $20,000, are you using $10,000, $5,000, or $19,000? Or are you maxing out your credit cards? They want to see your behavior, so that way they can determine whether or not you'll be responsible if they lend you the credit. And then 3, you want to make sure that your personal information matches on all 3 bureaus. Now again, your name may be differently spelled on different bureaus, or that it might appear different. For example, you might see your first, middle initial, and your last name on one bureau. You might see just your first and last name on a bureau. That is totally fine. However, you want to make sure that your name is correctly spelled on each bureau. So it's okay if it's just your first and last name on every bureau, but you want to make sure that your name is being reported accurately. You want to make sure that your date of birth is correct. You want to make sure that your work history is correct. Now, when you do start removing those personal items and they are connected to maybe collection accounts or past due accounts, it does help you and higher your chances of getting that debt deleted off of your credit. But before we go into repairing your credit, you want to always just make sure that you know what it is you're looking for. When you learn what it is you're looking for, you know exactly what it is that you need to do to attack and conquer those negative items. If you want to learn more about how to actually remove negative items off your credit report, make sure that you give a thumbs up on this video. Make sure that you comment below and make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because I will have a video going over how to remove negative collections, charge-offs, student loans, and everything else on your credit report. Thank you again for tuning in, millionaires. Have a great one.
It's up now, on a new way, so yeah, it's up, now they up now. They done slept too long, it's time to show them, now they doubted me. Had their own limits on all that I can be, they clocking me. Wanna know what's next, now they watching me.